The Board of Directors of the School District of the City of Erie, PA will meet in regular session on Wednesday, June 20th, 2018, in the auditorium at East Middle School, 1001 Atkins Street, at 6 p.m. by request of the President, Frank Petrunger, Jr.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cassillo?
Here.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Here.
Mrs. Feeney?
Here.
Mr. Harkins?
Here.
Mrs. McNair?
Here.
Mr. Stagel?
Here.
Mr. Titus?
Here.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Here. Mr. Petrunger?
Here. Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for Ewing Cole, retired teacher who passed away on May 17, 2018. Kanisha Seawright, fourth grade student at Piper Burley Elementary School, who passed away on May 17, 2018. James Granger, retired teacher who passed away on May 18, 2018. Mary Ann Brown, retired teacher who passed away on May 19, 2018. And Robert Almer, Jr., retired teacher, passed away on May 24, 2018. If we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Presentation by Erie High School Youth Development Team. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Advance the slide with it.
Oh, okay, thank you. It's our honor to be here. We represent Erie High. We're called Royal Positive Influence. We started as soon as our school did a collaboration together. My girls are really, really nervous, but they're awesome. So we'd like to present what has happened in just the last year, as these are our future leaders. And I couldn't be more proud. That's where I'm going to quit. Okay, go. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mariah.
Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm Alicia. Okay, so we started the Positive Influence team as a way to bring the three schools together, and we wanted to help make a positive change to the school. So we did positive things throughout the year to make it a better environment, I guess.
How we started is we were selected on our leadership and our responsibility, and we made healthy choices, and Miss Bennett helped us make very healthy choices, and she didn't really create a group. We created a whole family.
Our main goal was to promote a positive school culture and climate, as well as meet our protective factors for every single student in our family. By doing so, we looked at the 40 developmental assets, and we also looked at the protective factors. And from doing that, we actually had a process where we assessed what was going on in our school. We first looked at all of our strengths. And I do have our assessment if anybody wants to see it, using those protective factors. We collected the data, and then from there we brainstormed on how we could reach our goal.
These are our logos. This is like what we created, and when we did cards or if whatever we did, we put these logos up to show everyone that we were the group that did that. We were the ones that helped make a change and make the school a better place and stuff like that.
One of our first changes we made as a group was making a fan section for basketball games. So, because we never really had like a home side where we would sit at, we just sit on the bleachers. But we decided to make a cheering section to show that we're part of the Royals and we're cheering for our team.
We had made
3,000 thank you cards to thank anyone who deserved it, who felt that they needed the recognition that they didn't get on a daily. Like our teachers for being in the classroom there every day they needed to, putting up with kids who got on their nerves half the time. Even in the community, we thanked our mailmen for going through rain and snow. Thank you for bringing our mail every day. We thanked our neighbors for always being there for us. We thanked everybody. And the military for being there for us and protecting the United States.
One of our last projects was getting the bathrooms cleaner, nicer than they were because they weren't very good at first. We got new soaps, and we also got new mirrors, and we put up positive stickers and signs on like the walls and stuff. I think there's some pictures.
Yes, and part of this was to prove that we had a community that really cared. We had over $6,000 donated from Shaw Glass. They took down the existing, well, you'll see, here we go. We had some bathrooms that didn't have mirrors at all, and they actually did all the labor. They didn't charge anything. Mariah was the tour guide.
Yeah, I showed them around and I made sure like no one go in there, but they installed like full-length mirrors, and they also had like the old ones they took out that were like broken up and like have rust on it. They installed brand new ones, and they got to hang up stickers about like be positive, like to make people feel better and bring up their self-esteem.
This is the boys' bath. There we go.
On May 18th, we went to Penn State Barron, and there were 14 other schools there, and we all presented our projects throughout the year, and we won the Students' Choice Award and the Asset Builder Award as well. We had a trifold that had pictures of the bathroom before and after, and we even brought our thank you cards for people there to write thank you cards to whoever they wanted to. Like, we had some people write to teachers from Wilson, and we made sure the Wilson teachers got those, and we just thought it'd be nice for them to try it too.
How we won these like awards is we showed people that we can do our best, like because we had everyone in the teachers and like everyone supporting us to do our best. And how we also did is that the adults value youth. Like they showed us the roads, how to like make great choices, and they showed us that we were going to be the leaders instead of let them fall back and let us go on our road. These are some of the people that went to the places. Like not many people could go because like we were dealing with so many keystone testing. We also dealing with prom. So like the people that did go, we show like how we supported the school and how we're a family, and just because we all come from different schools, we all stand together as one.
The end.
I personally want to say thank you to you guys for keeping that positive. It definitely showed an effect on that school in the past year. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
I want to thank you, and I really want to, when you brought up about the sports and having the cheering section, that we all know that in the past years when they were the separate schools, that you would go to a sporting event and there was hardly anybody there. So they didn't really, the students really didn't understand what it was like to be able to pull together and cheer all at once. And so for you to all think of that, and that was a concern of yours, and to address it, I think is very, very, it's fantastic. And I hope that you continue that, and thank you very much.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I know you guys are trying to sneak away really fast, but you got a very appreciative board, so hold on one second.
That's right.
I just wanted to just kind of follow up. You guys were introduced as our future leaders, and I don't think you are our future leaders. I think you're our current leaders, and I want you to take note of that. There's a lot of people in our community, the state and at a federal level, who could really learn from what you guys are doing. I think what you have done took a lot of courage. and I think it was pretty brilliant. So don't call yourself future leaders. You're current leaders, and I really do appreciate your efforts, so thank you.
Thank you. Since January of 2017, the board has recognized the community supporter of each of our monthly board meetings. This month, we're doing something a little different and are recognizing our district's education foundation, the Partnership for Erie's Public Schools, for its work in supporting our students. I'd like to ask Daria Devlin, director of the organization, to come to the podium and present a brief report to the school board on the ways that PEPS has provided support to our district this year.
Thank you, Mr. Petrunger. I asked Mr. Petrunger for this opportunity this evening because every month we do recognize a community supporter, and I'm not sure that you know that there is an entire board in this organization that are working very hard to make changes and raise not only financial support but community support for our schools. So some of them are here this evening. I'm going to ask them to stand when I'm done, but I'm really here tonight to just give you a report of our year. So as you can see on your screen, in the past year, PEPS has provided over $230,000. That's cash money coming from private donors, not from any tax-funded programs, to fund school projects, classroom needs, facility improvements, and special purchases. The bulk of the funding truly was used to be the largest donor to the Serve Erie project at Erie High last year. That was a $100,000 check that we wrote. And Marcus Atkinson from Serve Erie likes to joke. He said, "I never felt as great as when we sat in your office and you wrote me that check for $100,000 to Serve Erie." So the fact that we were able to do that, that the board, my board from PEPS supported that, and that we had the money to be able to make that happen was something we were very proud of. Also, another huge investment last year, over $85,000 to cover the cost of all those brand new Royals uniforms. And I think that some people maybe had the misconception that that was football only. I want to assure you that was bowling shirts and swim caps and golf visors, everything for every team. We did our best to meet their needs. We knew that many of them had been starved for a very long time for new supplies and uniforms, so we were very proud to be able to do that, but it did have a very high price tag, over $85,000. And the other thing I want to call your attention to, I'm not sure you're aware that the United Way does do their annual giving campaign for employees. They've done that for many years in the district. A couple of years ago, they allowed our employees to designate their gifts to PEPS. So when employees participate in that deduction, their donations are given directly to us. And this year, we were able to then turn around and fund classroom projects with that money. So money that employees had donated went right back into the classroom. We gave gift cards to teachers for wish list items that they needed, and that was right over $3,500. So that we felt that was a really nice way to give back, and it allowed us to do something special for the teachers in the spring. I also want to make sure you're aware that we also provide a value add to the district in acting as an umbrella organization for booster groups. So as of this year, we are now serving as the umbrella organization for 7 different booster groups, football and cheerleading and wrestling. Also recently are going to be holding funds for the collegiate performing arts boosters. So we see that as a value add. We're providing those parent groups with some security. They don't have to hold their own tax exempt status. We do that for them. We act as their bank, keeping their money, keeping their books, and then providing and paying bills as needed. So that's, I think, a great benefit that we've been able to provide and grow. So after that really impactful year, we undertook our own strategic plan, and out of that, we've identified some goals. One thing I want to make you aware of is that in August, we'll be changing our name. We'll no longer be the Partnership for Erie's Public Schools. We'll be the Foundation for Erie's Public Schools. We're doing that because after talking with stakeholders, we felt that there was some confusion and people not understanding that we were really here to raise money. It was very nice to talk to people and get their support, but we really are a fundraising organization, and we think that addition of the word foundation will help clarify that. So we'll be launching a new website, a name change, and a new logo in August, so I hope you'll look for that. And we want to remind you, too, that this year particularly, we're going to be taking a renewed effort to engage our alumni. We hear over and over how many alumni there are out there. As we've closed schools, many of them have maybe started to feel disenfranchised, and so we are going to take on that role of trying to get out and finding those alumni and bringing them back in and re-engaging them with the district. So that's a priority for us this year. Two dates I want you to keep in mind. August 14th is Erie Gives Day. Last year, we were able to raise over $30,000 to fund the things I talked about from Erie Gives Day. So I hope you'll remember that and share with your networks when it comes time to designate PEPs, will still be PEPs then, for a gift. And also, our annual gala, which this year is October 12th. Every year that gets bigger and bigger. We have more and more support for it. It's a great night to celebrate our schools and people that have helped and supported us, and again, to raise money. So please mark those dates down. So I want to thank you for listening to my report tonight. And before I wrap up, on the second slide here, I just have a list of all of our board members. Not all of them could make it tonight, but I know a number of them are here. So if the PEPS board members could just stand and be recognized. Thank you for all that you do. If the board members can't see, I just want to make sure. So Tom Topitza is here. Tom's from the Knox firm. Noelle Burgoyne, many of you know Noelle's a retired teacher. Deb Amatangelo, retired administrator. Nancy Sedali, our retired assistant superintendent. And we're really lucky this year to have Rick Schneider on our board. Rick is a current assistant principal at Erie High, and he provides us kind of with that day-to-day information on what he feels the teachers in school need. So he's been a real and valuable asset this year. So thank you again. We look forward to another year working with you. Thanks.
Thank you. I would like to announce that the board met in executive session on Wednesday, June 13, 2018, at the Dr. James E. Barker Leadership Center, 148 West 21st Street, in Conference Room 3 from 8:10 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. regarding legal and personnel matters. Board also met in executive session this evening, Wednesday, June 20th, 2018, in the library at East Middle School from 5:40 p.m. to 5:54 p.m. regarding personnel matters. We'll move on to the report of the superintendent.
A very brief report tonight. First, I'd like to congratulate our graduating seniors from both collegiate and Erie High. They were a critical part of making our reconfiguration and consolidation a success this year. As I said at graduation, these student leaders came together as a student body. They embraced their new school and worked very hard to make this a successful year for us and them. Second, we have two very important items on the agenda tonight. First, the district's 2018-19 budget totaling just over $200 million is on the agenda, and thanks to the additional funding by the state, this is the first budget since 2011 that did not require multi-million-dollar cuts. And then also on the agenda tonight, we're looking to the future. We have the district's strategic plan, and this will drive the district's educational decisions through 2024. The plan was developed over the last several months with extensive community input, and I just want to take a minute and thank the school board, alignment team, core planning team, and of course our consultant Mutiyu for all the time and effort put into this document. I look forward to working with all of you to make this a reality for the community. And that's all I have tonight, Mr. President.
Wow, that's very nice. Can I have a motion to accept the superintendent's report? Okay. Bob, yeah, I was waiting. Mr. Casillo, Mr. Spiegel, second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing of citizens, persons desiring to speak for 5 minutes must submit their request in writing to the Secretary's office at least 1 week prior to the board meeting. All others may speak for 3 minutes. One 5-minute speaker, Mr. William McDonald, speaking on the topic of Erie School District business. Mr. McDonald here.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's good to be back. I have a few issues. Of course, you know that when you see me out here. I want to know, why is all of these, you got all those kids up there at Old Tech. That's too many kids up there. You should have, if you was going to take them out of the schools that they were in, you should have spread them out more than you did with all those kids up there. They're running over each other. I'd like to see a change in that. What I would like to ask you is, did the parents have any input in that when you sent all those kids up there? You changed schools. They had to go to different schools. They wasn't going to the regular school that they were going to. You know, I look back at all those kids that's being shot by kids. That's a shame. That is a shame. When kids go to school, they shouldn't have to worry about, am I going to get shot today? Is somebody going to come in here acting crazy? It's enough that they got to go to school. And to have something like that on their mind, I don't think they can do their homework, do their schoolwork that good. You got your mind on something else. You scared somebody gonna come in and shoot you. I think our kids should be protected better than that. I think even the schools here, I think they should have those metal detectors. Kids can get into school too easy. It don't make sense. It just don't make sense. And your leaders down there in Washington, they don't seem to be concerned about anything. It's not their kids that's getting shot up. I'd like to see you do something about that. I sympathize with the kids. When you send a kid to school, you want to know that he's going to be protected. I don't know, and I don't. Look like we could take better care of our kids than has been done. I hope we don't ever have a situation like that here in Erie. I don't want to see it nowhere else, but hey, it happens. And it's only the kids seem to be concerned about it. They're the one, we got leaders down there in Washington, and they don't even want to address anything that's against the NRA. That don't make sense to me, and it shouldn't make sense to you. That should be the first thing on the burner. Our kids, the safety of our kids. The safety of our kids. It don't seem to concern the parents. I just don't know. We're gonna have to do something about it, though. They're getting money from the NRA, and they don't want to speak against them. That's bad. That's bad. We're paying our taxes. If we wasn't, hey, we wouldn't have the property that we have. Somebody else would have it. I want you to consider getting those metal detectors and get some more policemen or something at those doors so can't nobody just walk in and kill up our kids. You know, you don't know how that person feel until you walk in their shoes. The kids shouldn't just have to worry about somebody coming in and shooting them. I know that that's got to be on their minds, because for a while there, things looked pretty good. Those kids were really raising Cain, and I liked it that. I really did. But it seemed to then simmered down now. You're not hearing much about it. Then the next thing you're going to hear is a kid went into that school and that school. You know, those guns they have, you don't go in the woods hunting no deer or nothing with them guns. Those are guns of war. I don't care what nobody say. I don't think the law allow you to have over 3 or 4 bullets in your shotgun. Now you got one of them there things that play music when you pull the trigger. That don't make sense to me. Why you going? They shouldn't even sell them to people. We won't need an army after a while. Everybody's got them guns that shoot so many bullets per second. When you go hunting in the woods, you don't have nothing like that.
Ms. McDonald?
Yes.
We appreciate your opinion. Your time's up, though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
It's good to see you back, Mr. McDonald.
Good.
I was worried about you. I hadn't seen you in a while.
Well, you remember I was here and I told the parents, I said, you don't seem to be interested in your kids. There ain't no need of me coming down here every week or, you know, every time. So it's good to be back. Good to see all of you.
Thank you. Anybody like to speak for 3 minutes? If so, please state your name, print your name and address on a tablet provided on the podium. Anybody like to speak? You just come up to the podium.
Good evening, members of the board. I want to thank you for this opportunity to address the board. My name's Don Owens. I live here in Erie. I basically want to touch base and make a comment or two on the 5-year plan that's been developed. I participated in one of the community forums earlier this year. In fact, I spoke with the superintendent at length about some of my concerns. Until today, I actually hadn't seen the actual report that that came out of the work that was done. And I want to acknowledge and thank the board and the members of the community that actually participated. This is it's a fine document. It's aspirational, as you indicated in most cases. It's going to take some time to achieve these goals. I think, as everyone knows, the only way you can solve a problem is, first off, you have to recognize you have one, and I applaud the board and the system for recognizing that. One of the concerns that I have in just looking through this document are on page 17 of the report, mastery of academic subjects and the arts, are under A. We indicate an increased percentage of performing students in every grade level making at least a 1.5-year growth in 1 year in core subjects. Now, you guys are knowledgeable of how difficult that may be when we're dealing with underachieving students to achieve 1.5 years growth in 1 year without any kind of enrichment, any kind of additional help. It's practically impossible. Now, I know there's probably things in this report that I haven't seen. I think somewhere in here it talks about referring to something, to one of the assessments or something. But I don't see anything in here that says in any kind of definitive terms whether or not we're going to have enrichment classes for kids, any kind of additional help, reading specialists. If I look at, and we have looked at the assessments, not the assessments, the testing that was done from 2016-17, as we all know, can't pull any punches. They were abysmal. We're practically looking at 75% of the students that are underachieving and are proficient. And I'd just like to know if you could maybe perhaps give me a little bit more information. What do we propose to do in terms of bringing in additional resources? I know we have I don't know if it's which organization is going to be helping with the 1 to 3 in terms of increasing reading, and that's going to entail some additional resources. But what about the kids from 4th grade through 12th? I mean, we're starting behind the 8 ball. Unless we do something, have some kind of intervention, some kinds of programs to address these underachieving students, again, no matter how well-intentioned we are about reaching the goal in 2024, I know it's going to be a tough task, but again, do we have anything in place to help those students that are underachieving right now, let's say from the 4th through the 12th grade, because I said we're going to have some help with the kids 1 through K through 3. What do we have in place? I mean, what do we anticipate?
The superintendent would like to answer you a little bit. Your time's up, but we're just going to let him respond.
Right.
So what you're talking about, sir, are strategies to get to the goals, and that's something that's not quantified in the document because that's really the next step of our process and what we're working on right now. We actually have already assigned implementation teams, one for each goal, and they're in the process right now of identifying those strategies like supports, like curricular resources that we're going to need to to start to utilize to reach those goals. So that process is happening over this summer, and it's actually happening in conjunction with our financial recovery plan, which we're in the process of creating right now. So once we have all the needs, the budgetary amounts for those goals, we're looking to prioritize them and slot them into the budget. So the strategic plan process is really going to drive every initiative that we see moving forward for the next 5 to 6 years.
Could I be allowed to make one more comment, please? I don't know how difficult it would be. I know it doesn't have to be difficult. But I firmly believe that just as the district started the summer program on Monday, in order to our kids to get back up to the grade levels, to become proficiency, we've got to seriously consider either extending, I know we're talking about by law, it's going to have to come out of Harrisburg in terms of extending the school year or the school date. It's just physically impossible to reach the levels that we want to do with our underachieving students, maintaining the same programs that we're on now. I mean, summer school, as far as I'm concerned, well, it can't be, you can't make it mandatory, but we've got to seriously consider doing something in terms of extending our school days or the school year. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention.
Anybody else like to speak for 3 minutes?
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
My name is Darlene, and I just want to know, my granddaughter will be attending school, and she'll be blind. She's blind, and I was wondering if you have Braille books for them and special needs for them, and for her safety.
Angie, or have you? Ms. Kanaki, who you were speaking to earlier,
Yeah.
she'll be able to arrange all of that for you, and definitely we will accommodate any needs that your child has.
Yeah, it's my boyfriend's granddaughter.
My apologies.
And another thing, with the EMTA buses, okay, you're gonna have to find another route for that, because it's just too dangerous for the students. Because I've been on the buses, and the students get snotty, you know, especially with the elderly, they do. So, you know, I just want to bring that to your attention. Okay, I think you guys have some problems, but you guys are working it out. That's all I wanted to say, okay?
We appreciate that.
Yeah, because I'm new to Erie, I'm used to being out in the county. So I'm trying to learn the ways,
Thank you.
okay?
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Anybody else like to speak? Not seeing anybody else, we'll move on. Any reports of the committees and liaisons?
Mr. President?
Yes.
So I'd just like to report that in May, both, this is for the Land Bank, both Randy Pernicki and I attended the Land Bank seminar. We came back with a lot of valuable information. Right now, the Land Bank is still working on 2 intergovernmental agreements. We are trying to get with our school board and also with the county. We are hopeful that we're going to get some resources, hopefully from perhaps the City of Erie, city government, so that we can get a webpage design. We would like to start to become active at looking at purchasing some blighted properties and redeveloping them. We're ambitious. We'd like to begin in the fall, but without any resource streams, we might have to wait until 2019. Also, I wanted to let you know that all of you are invited to come to the IU board meeting with me on June 27th at 5:45. It's bring a member to the board meeting. Dinner is included. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I just want to say thank you to Brian and the administration for working so quickly on the issue we had with the 2 boys that got killed to get their honorary diplomas. I just want to say, as a community liaison person, like, I try to keep in touch with everything, you know, concerns and questions, and try to make sure I get them back to administration. And I just want to say that you guys did a great job. Like, you moved really quick, and that those parents really appreciated what you did for them, and the community really appreciated what you did for them too. So thank you.
Thank you. If nothing else, I'll take a motion to accept.
So, second.
Moved by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mrs. Feeney. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have no unfinished business. We move on to new business.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Harkins.
I move we adopt items 6 and 7 of the agenda items, that being the new business of the school district and the supplemental new business of the school district.
Okay. Second. Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair?
Yes.
Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Approval of the minutes of May 16, 2018.
I move we approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Bills and payroll.
Move we approve them for payment.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Report of the Secretary. I need approval for the report of the Secretary Financial Report for 10-month period ending April 30th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Spiegel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Award on bids.
Mr. Chairman, I move we make the 3 awards before us under item 11.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Harkins, second by Mr. Cassillo. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cassillo?
Yes.
Mr. Fabrizi?
Yes.
Mrs. Feeney?
Yes.
Mr. Harkins?
Yes.
Mrs. McNair? Yes. Mr. Spiegel?
Yes.
Mr. Titus?
Yes.
Mrs. Alexandrovich? Yes. Mr. Petrunger?
Yes. Any other matter anybody has?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Harkins.
In our earlier committee of the whole meeting, we discussed, and there were EMTA officials there. I'd just like to ask the superintendent if he'd make a few comments for the public who wouldn't have been there or heard it, what the status is, because I know it's been in the news and has been a concern. Just what has happened here with the EMTA on our busing situation.
Well, I'm happy to report that EMTA has agreed to do our transportation for 1 more year. They did indicate that moving forward after that, that they would need to reduce the amount of transportation that they do provide the school district for a number of reasons, including cost and the capacity that's needed to transport all our students. So this will actually give us a year to really work very closely with them to determine what we will take back as a school district and what they may retain, and also give us a year to plan our new routes as we start to transition to yellow bus service for the 1920 school year.
Thank you. One other interest I have, or I'd like to mention, I happen to notice in today's Erie paper there was a story about the PIAA and how Harrisburg's taken a look at some important aspects of PIAA's governance and their regulations. I don't expect anybody to be ready to tell us anything tonight, but in the near future, I guess I'd like to be reassured that we are as involved as can be in expressing our wishes, interests, and concerns to them, and that we stay on top of it and get an update at the appropriate time, as I trust we will.
I can share with you that Superintendent Hall from the Mill Creek School District has taken the lead in representing the school districts in this area and superintendents. We have, the superintendents did get together and decide to write letters in support of changing the way the playoffs work so that we have boundary and non-boundary schools, and also to tighten up the procedures for students that transfer between schools for athletic intent.
Thank you for that, too, Mr. Plato.
Anybody else have anything? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Motion by Mr. Cassillo, second by Mr. Spiegel. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting's adjourned.